Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today we're going to be looking at restoring peace. I've got my guardian angel John here with me today, and I've had a bit of a discussion over the last 24 hours about my own personal, individualized views about what reality is, what it means, uh, what we should view, how we should view the world, or how we shouldn't view the world. And we've had this ongoing discussion. And it really is true. You cannot use war to establish peace. You can use war to establish subservience or domination, but you cannot use war or fear or anger or guilt or shame to establish peace. And so today is about restoring peace, the process of actually restoring peace, not only for ourselves, but restoring peace for everyone around us as well. Remember, we are generators of energy. We radiate certain qualities of consciousness depending upon what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're doing, and how we're being. And we have choice over that. At a certain point in your development, you start to realize, wait a minute, I don't have to think those thoughts. I don't have to do those things. I don't have to feel this way. Those are all things that are under our conscious ability to alter and change at will once we develop the skills. So restoring peace. And it's very fascinating, the idea of restoring peace, because it can be very difficult, especially when there's a lot of stuff going on within you or around you that says that's not the reality. The reality is everybody's fighting and everybody's disagreeing. That's what appears to be the reality from the senses perception, from the awareness of our senses. We can see fighting and brick throwing and all this stuff going on. But all of those things originate or initiate from within every single individual involved. It starts from within and comes without. And as you've heard us say many, many times, that a lot of what we got going on in our minds and what we've been doing in the world originated from somewhere out there. And it's time to start reevaluating what we want to do. We want to do a house cleaning, a spiritual house cleaning for humanity. And there's an event that's going to be coming up. I've just been invited to lead another global meditation. I just want to see the dates and times of this so I can share that information with you. Let me just see here. Good morning, everybody, by the way. It is a brand new, beautiful day for us. I see why you can't do that. Sorry, I'm trying to load this image that has the information I need. There we go. So the global meditation will be held on the 20th of June at 2020, on 20/06/2020 at 20:20 p.m. global time, worldwide meditation. It shouldn't be longer than any 20. It'll be a 20-minute duration meditation. It'll be hosted here on my YouTube channel. And there are other groups and organizations that are going to be doing this exact same thing. As you know, the story about the one time the group of yogis went down to Washington, D.C., and their members focused on just love and peace for a whole 24-hour period. And the crime rate in D.C., Washington, D.C., went down 27% during that time that they were meditating. And I believe that the same thing can occur for us as a global species. The more people we get involved in this process to awaken, amplify, project, and seed the vibrational energy of peace into the human collective unconsciousness and into the very molecules of space-time around us, that we can accomplish something similar or even greater still. All it requires is your willingness to be able to let go of your thoughts, to let go of your emotions, and just be in the present moment in a state of gratitude, in a state of peace, in a state of love. And again, that's going to happen on June the 6th at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2020 on the 6th of this year, 2020. I'll post all the information up on my group walls on Facebook. And again, you'll hear me mention it multiple times between now and the day of that event. So please encourage anybody who's really about getting away from the he said, she said, who did what, why they do, getting out of all that ego crap and getting into a vibration of peace, and bring that vibration forth into our physical bodies and into our world. Remember, you cannot have an effect without a cause, nor a cause without an effect. And, you look at Martin Luther King, and the way he organized the civil rights movement. He never resorted to violence or aggression. He stayed in a state of peace, much the same way Gandhi did. And I think we can accomplish something very similar, except we're going to be doing it from a perspective of energy. And then I think we'll have to do actual peace marches. I think we should start to organize marches of peace, not marches of who's done what or who's done. No, a march of pure peace. Not about this life matters or that life matters, a march of pure peace for the sake of peace for all of us. That's what really needs to happen. A march that's based fundamentally in word and action, exclusively in peace. That's it, period. That's where we need to drive our attention as a species. From a perspective of peace as a species and as individuals, we can cultivate an awareness of clarity in our consciousness, but only at that point where we've cultivated a vibration of peace and we know it, we live in it, we're being it. Then the actions, words, and deeds of peace will be felt as the truth, because then thought, feeling, and action will be in alignment. And this is really important. It's important to express what you believe to be true or what you believe to be false. But if you're doing it from a perspective of anger, if you're doing it from a perspective of fear, if you're doing it from a perspective of wanting to blame or attack, you will not reap the rewards of that other than what that is in and of itself. So if you're coming from a place of anger, trying to get people to agree with you, you're going to create more anger. So I've taken down a number of posts that were on my personal page on Facebook because they really did not represent what my guides and my angels, particularly John, represents, which is a love and peace, the extension of compassion and gratitude and understanding. And I think this is the platform we need to put our attention on, and to stay strong in that 100%, and watch how it happened. It worked for Martin Luther King. It worked for Gandhi. It's worked for others throughout history that we've probably never heard of, but it has worked, and we know that. We know how energy works. So anyway, restoring peace. What did you want to say about that specifically? You can only know this thing called peace when you feel the quietness in your heart, and he's motioning to here, the quietness in your heart, the softness of the speech in your mind, the softness of your words that are spoken, and the movements and actions that you take with your physical body. The vibrational expression and meaning of peace has a twofold impact, always internally and externally. It is important you ensure that both thought and feeling and action are in alignment with that vibration that you define as peace from the perspective that you are in that physical form. Peace is as much an individual choice as it is a collective need for your species at this time. So please understand that you have the capacity to generate any experience you wish to while you are in this physical world. From our perspective, it is much wiser if you focus your attention on conceptions that are going to be more beneficial to your lives. And this includes all of you, for there's not one among you that can be held separate from the other without influence. So anything that any of us do, because I'm commenting on the last thing, is that anything that any of us says or does that is based in harming ourselves or others is really going to just achieve that result. Anything from a perspective of peace and joy and love, and yes, saying love is a verb, love is an action, and there we see many of these actions. I mean, we're seeing, if you watch some of the things that are going on, you can see demonstrations of both in our consciousness. We are not a divided species. We are divided in our minds and in our own internal realities. We are divided. Some of us are at peace and some of us are at war. Some of us are in love. Some of us are in fear. But we cannot escape the reality that we are inseparable in consciousness. And therefore, if one of us is suffering, we are all suffering, right? If one of us is suffering, we are all suffering. Somebody, I don't know who, somebody's just sent me a telepathic message saying, well, if somebody's doing something to make, if some people enjoy suffering and making other people suffer, what do we do about them? Those that you call suffering, that benefit from the suffering of others, are doing so because they are themselves suffering, but have not come to terms with it. Your willingness to work with these individuals from a perspective of compassion will make very different results. Well, if they need something from you, give it to them. If they need something from you, give it to them. They will eventually find out there is a hollowness in the acquisition of material things. Control and power are empty. And love is a fulfillment of your soul. Wow. So I've never had a message come in from somebody out there, some of you guys out there thinking that, what do we do about people that enjoy actually hurting people? And again, the response is, I think people only harm when on some level of their consciousness, they've got a belief or an idea that this is how they make themselves feel good. That's inducing harm is conditioned in their system to make them feel good. And this can happen at a very young age. Remember, the first 7 years of our life, for the most part, you have no choice over what comes in your mind or what you decide about things. You don't have a choice. Information just downloaded in your mind, beliefs, ideas, information, emotions, sensorial data get downloaded in the system. Now your subconscious mind has a system operating that you may not even be conscious of. So if somebody goes out who enjoys, serial killers, things like that actually enjoy that type of stuff, have a program somewhere in their subconscious field that makes that okay, and they're not even aware of it. They just say whatever they say, but understand that these things that are changeable, that from the perspective of love, all things are possible. We know that if you're listening to a song that's your favorite song, that you will find your body suddenly moving to that song. You'll find yourself sometimes singing to it because the vibration of that song is pleasing to you. Well, this is true for all beings, that if you put out a vibration that is pleasing, that is uplifting and inspiring, nurturing, you will induce and empower others to make a huge change in their consciousness, even if they're not aware that change is necessary. Wow. Okay. Energy today. Master Jesus coming in here too. Hi, Sherry. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Gina. Yeah, congratulations to you again, Gina. Gina won our second free reading giveaway as one of our Patreons. Hi, Sherry. Hi, artist. Hello. Guitar man from the USA. Good to have a guitar man from the USA. So understanding induction, being induced into something. When you can be clear about a certain vibration that you're working with and you understand induction. So the vibration of these words coming out of this physical body go into this microphone, and it's the frequency of these sounds is induced through this system, goes through the wires, the electro, and comes out your side in your speakers or your earphones or whatever you're listening to us through. That process, that vibration of these sound waves going into your ears, these vibrations are induced into the system, received by the system, brought into the system, and the system responds. In this case, the familiarity you have with the words that we're speaking right now, though that the familiarity is induced into your mind because the information is there. The medium is your body and the airwaves through which the vibration is transmitted or induced through these mediums. It's changing mediums. So the vibration of this sound is being induced into the ears, and your brain perceives it. And you can feel it, even though this body is thousands of miles away from some of you, hundreds of miles for others. The fact is the vibration is induced. The same thing works when you think a thought or you generate an emotion. Even though you do not see it, you don't see the words floating through the air, but you hear and feel the vibration. Even if I speak the words, you don't see them floating through the air. It's an invisible wave, but it clearly alters and interacts with matter, in this case, your eardrums and your brain. So the same thing is true in terms of restoring a vibration of peace or a vibration of love or a vibration of joy. If you understand the vibration, the medium that you're choosing to put out, the vibration you're choosing to put out, then that vibration, even though you do not see it, will go out and induce and interact with other mediums, other substances, other structures. In this case, I can put my hand on this glass door I have beside me, and I can actually feel the vibration of the words in the door, right? Or you may even put your hand on your chest and feel the sound of your own voice moving through your body as you speak. That's because the vibration of that sound is induced through the other parts of the body. Well, so too when you move into a vibration of love, a vibration of peace, a vibration of joy, and you feel that vibration and you stay with it. As you stay with it more, you are actually broadcasting it. Your attention is feeding it. Your attention is an amplifier for electrical, emotional, mental signals and information. Your attention is an amplifier. The minute you give an idea like peace, attention, or love, attention, or joy, attention, you're actually transmitting that energy and amplifying it. You're amplifying that energy. So in our meditations, in our practices, as you get into a vibration and you stay with it, you give it more attention, and you give it more attention, and you give it more attention. You can restore any state. Yes, where'd that glass go? I was hoping I had this glass here. Just a second, I'll use my greens drink. One moment. So yeah, I'll have to use a bit of my greens drink here, but I'll use water here. Okay, so we got water, smoothie water. So we've got this water, and we put it in the freezer. The freezing of the refrigerator will organize the water into ice. The water doesn't have to do anything. We don't have to go out and force people to agree with us or not agree with us. We have to move into a vibrational state of energy that is so strong and powerful, like the refrigerator freezer freezing the water. We broadcast the signal of peace. We broadcast the signal of love. We broadcast the signal of joy from within our hearts, from within with our awareness and our attention. And we broadcast it out with such intensity and clarity, understanding the principle of how energy works, the principle that, like this sound wave leaves here, I know the principle of the sound wave does certain things. Well, so too does the principle of freezing cold water, freezing cold temperature, change this water. Think of every other human being on this planet like the glass of water. All those people that are upset and afraid and angry and disappointed and want to get even and get back. Think of all those people as the glasses of water, thousands and millions of glasses of water. And we're going to broadcast a frequency of love and peace to them. We're going to do this today for a few minutes as well. I'm going to broadcast that frequency, and with such intensity, as much intensity as you can muster, that you don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to work, just any more than you have to worry about the freezer freezing the water. You know it's going to work because you know the principle. It's got electricity going through it. It's got freon in these little tubes. As long as electricity is flowing through it, the compressor works to keep the temperature low in the freezer, which causes it to freeze. Well, so too, think of yourself as a spiritual compressor of peace. You're going to broadcast this vibration of peace outward, inward, outward. And you don't have to worry about how it's going to work. It will work. You don't have to worry about the how here. You just have to know that the principle works on the exact same principles as a freezer, except you don't get unplugged. You've got an infinite intelligence beating your heart right now that has no limits in terms of what it can be or do. And so we're going to get into that in a few minutes. We're going to take some questions and go from there. But understand that meditation, the transformation of your life, requires that you understand just certain fundamental principles of energy that are really very simple. You don't have to worry about all the other stuff. You just have to get clear on what it is you want to see as a feeling expressed in your world. Yes. Okay. So we're going to take some questions and answers. Hi, Chris. Good to see you again. Hello, Carolyn. Hello from South Africa. Wonderful, Allison. Good to have you here. South Africa, United States, Canada. Love it. Question from Teresa. How do we forgive and show love to those that harm animals and children? I have tried very hard to find the love for them. I know I should. Thank you. Well, somebody asked me the question about what about eating meat? How do we stop people from killing animals from eating meat? Stop eating meat. If there's no market for people eating meat, nobody's going to cultivate it for that purpose. It's really as simple as that. It's just getting everybody to agree to it. And again, the health benefits to not eating meat outweigh the health benefits to eating meat. Again, that's something that each person must decide for themselves. But again, you can only do what you can only do. What we're going to do in terms of meditation will alter and change things. As a global collective, we can make huge changes. Remember, we are not separate from any other person on this planet. And we know that how easy it can be to be upset and frustrated about how these people behave. But if you're upset and frustrated about how these people behave, you are transmitting more of that frustration and upset into the world to be expressed. So we would say simply to you to restore yourself to peace unwaveringly, to the love, the joy, the peace, the compassion that you would like to see expressed at all points of time and space that you would dare to go to feel that presence of peace wherever you are and allow it to work for you. It will work for you, but you can only do it one at a time. You cannot make the other. You can only be yourself. Be that which you wish to see in the world, and you will begin to see that which in the world which is within you, and you do anyway. Your frustration is not separate from the frustration of that behavior. So you cannot separate yourself from them. The minute you move into judgment about them, you are in judgment about them. Therefore, you are in the energy of that judgment. It is important to make that distinction. Most people that function in the way that you see them functioning are very unhappy people inside. When you restore love in your heart and you broadcast that out, you alter that. The glass of water will freeze whether it likes to or not in the freezer. And it's really true of human behavior too. When we move in, think about it. You go to a place. If you go into a place, and I've done this before, you go into an actual place where there's a bunch of people around, and all of a sudden you start laughing. You just start laughing like crazy. You just start laughing. Oh my God, did you see that? And you start laughing so hard. Before you know it, people in the room start smiling, and everybody else starts laughing. Vibration, if you understand the simple principles of it, is such a powerful resource that we all have access to use it for either way. God says, ask and you shall receive. He does not say you have to use it this way or you have to use it that way. He says, ask and you shall receive, but learn to ask for what you want. And it's very true. The Creator just gives. It does not judge. So choose to align yourself to that which you wish to see in the world and catch your mind from going elsewhere. If it wants to go, but what about these bad people? Stop it, because that very nature of that thought is feeding energy to the bad people and to yourself first. Any thoughts or emotions you have in your mind will always affect you first. So it's important you mind your own house first. You mind your own house first. Wow. Yeah, I know. So I can pick up other stuff from other people too about, well, what about poverty and what about starvation? All of these things will pass as we as a species, those of us that are awake and aware enough to know how energy and consciousness work, as we get more aligned to becoming and being that which we to be giving food to other people without saying, oh, somebody else should be doing it, but to be that which you wish others to be an example of that which you wish to be. Until eventually people start to learn. People learn, children especially learn by example. And that's the ones we need to be teaching is the children. That they need to be seeing that, no, this is not okay to be this way. It's okay to be this way, love and joy, right? Peace. To be passionate, to be playful, to be fun, to be exciting, to be dynamic, to be creative. Wow. Yes. Yes, Teresa, I hope that answers your question. Yes. Okay, hang on. He's also saying that, yes, please understand that you must not harbor in your heart about others that which you do not wish to see about others. You will simply nurture and cultivate that energy in them and in yourself. For any resentment that you hold on to, you will see in your world at all time. It will not go away. I'll just put you on there. There we go. Okay, let's go a little further. Minaj. Hi, Minaj. Wow. My wife is a narcissist. So she doesn't reciprocate my feelings for her. She withdraws her love and emotional support when I need it. Am I supposed to survive on my self-love and support only? Well, this is a very good question. But your first statement here is, my wife is a narcissist. Um, well, obviously you got some anger and judgment in you that you have to let go of. I mean, Mother Teresa, when she went among the poor, she didn't say this person has got this disease or this person is ugly or look at this terrible person. She did not have any of that in her. Neither does Master Jesus, nor does Buddha. Do any of them. They don't have that in them. If anything, your wife is a great opportunity to be in a state of such love and grace and compassion. For in order for her to behave that way, she must have a lot of hurt and pain going on somewhere. And see what happened if you stay in a state of compassion for a while. Okay, thank you. This is not to say they use that word. Have compassion for her. Really understand that what she is being and doing is because of what's going on within her. And there are pains and hurts inside her that she's not able to reveal to you. Or maybe she is. Maybe the very nature of her narcissism is an attempt for you to extend love to her in a way that's meaningful to her. Okay. They're also saying that there's always a way. If you are true to the love of your own being, if you are true to that which you truly are, then there is none other in this world that can shake you away from that. There is none other in this world that can shake you away from that which you truly are, if you truly are that which you are. And the true nature of you can be either love or fear. Which one will you choose? And in every moment of every word, of every day, of every deed, which are you being? Are you being love or are you being fear? You cannot serve two masters, and your frustration is a manifestation of fear. You still operate from that platform, and you're fortunate enough to have someone who reveals to you your own limitations so that you may overcome them. Wow, thank you. Great question, Manoj. Magical Buddha is asking, have all beings that you channel have had physical incarnations as humans on Earth, or is it not that important? What is important is that you are able to understand and know and validate the information from your experience that we communicate to you. The vast majority of the beings that work through this one have had physical incarnation, not necessarily on this physical plane that you call this earthly dimension, but every single individual has had some form of incarnation. Cool. By the way, yes, incarnation does not necessarily mean like a physical body. Incarnation can be like an incarnation of an individualized, like a ray of light. Because I met these light beings the other day. They're these tall shafts of light, right? That came in a reading. These tall shaft beings of light, and that was their physical manifestation, was light. So remember when they say incarnation, it's not necessarily a physical incarnation like we understand in these bodies, but the vast majority of the beings that come through me have been in this physical earthly incarnation. But there's quite a few of them that do not have physical incarnations as we understand them to be. Thank you. That's a great question. I've never heard anybody ask that question before. Question from Lysandra. What do I do if I focus on love all day but still have angry even when I'm not trying? That's a great question, Lysandra. Whoa, lots of applause going on in the background here. That is a question. This is what I've been taught to do. That whenever anything unlike love comes up in my mind, to literally relax, breathe, release that vibration, and move myself into a state of love and grace and choose to stay there. Literally, I'll walk down the street if I feel a little upset or frustration coming into my system, even if I'm picking up something from somebody else's energy field. I stop, I pause, I breathe, I release, and I move, and I smile, and I restore love. And I just do that. Even if I'm on the street, I'll stop for that moment. So whenever you find that vibrations of fear or guilt or shame or anything coming up from your subconscious mind, you want to bring your awareness back to the present moment. You want to be able to deliberately release your attachment to that energy. Remember, that energy, whether it's fear or anger or guilt or shame or disappointment, whatever's in your subconscious field, requires your attention in order for it to exist. It can be brought to your attention from external triggers. It can be brought to your attention from internal triggers. We go into this very deeply in our Mediumship 102 program, which is starting in late September. So you want to get to the place where you literally can stop the body, relax it, move it out of that energy, get all that energy. Because remember, if you're feeling frustration, there's an energy that will cause physical reaction. If you're excited, there's physical reaction. So you want to get the body into a state and being the way that represents what you want to be. Smiling, pulling your shoulders back, accessing that vibration and joy and staying present with it. I'm not a big fan of having to go back and reevaluate all my past suffering, my past pain as a reference point for who I am now, because who I am now is who I am now. And you must learn to do that. Reference yourself as who you are now and transform the energy of the past. It'll keep coming up. Eventually it'll stop. Eventually it gets less and less and less and less every time you face it. Remember, if I put heat to this water, if I put enough heat to this water, it will begin to steam off. It'll eventually just evaporate. So think of your negative emotions like this glass of water. These are your negative emotions. And you put it in a pot of water and you turn the heat, crank the heat right up, and think of the heat as the extension of your love and your grace to that emotion. Well, what happens? The water starts to boil on the pot. And the more you keep it boiling, you watch the steam coming off, it boils out. Eventually the water boils away. Well, the same thing, every time you extend love and grace and gratitude to the parts of yourself that are angry, upset, when you extend love to them, compassion to them, it's literally like turning the heat up and they begin to boil away. And eventually you transmute them, you transform them from the state of the frequency of anger or guilt or fear or shame into a frequency of love. Remember, it's the same thing as the freezer, except now you want to get rid of an emotion, right? You want to transform an emotion from one state that's negative into an energy that's positive or a higher vibrational frequency. And you do that with a higher vibrational energy. Go into a state of love. So you feel that anger, you go and feel your love and direct your love at that party that's angry. Give your love to it. It will change it. It'll transform it. We're talking about a principle of energy, and we're getting prepared for this global meditation on the 2020, the 20th day of the 20th month of this month. I'll put the date up there tomorrow. I'll have a little thing that pops the date up for the meditation. But it's important to understand you're dealing with a principle of energy, right? You're dealing with a principle of energy. And remember, emotion is the fifth state of energy, and it can only express in two ways, positive or negative. Emotion can't be neutral. It can be either positive or it can be negative, right? And you have the choice over which one it's going to be. And the minute you feel that one, you can literally shift your attention to this one, and this one will literally pull the energy out of that. So your attention goes, and now you take the life away from that. I will give you life and give it to you more abundantly is what Master Jesus is saying to me right now. And he says by that he means when you give attention to a specific idea or a sensation in your body, you will be giving it life with your attention. For that which you give your attention to, you give your life to. So do not feed that which you do not wish to give life to in your life. Interesting. Thank you. That's a great question, Lysandra. Hi, Kai. Hi, Lauren. That's correct, Lauren. That's a good example. You don't have to worry about how the engine in your car functions to drive it. You just have to turn the key on. Or a light switch. I turn this light switch on and off, right? I don't have to worry about whether or not light's going to go on or off. I know that by that principle, by turning that switch, the light's going to go off. So I know, and if you're sitting in a state, right, if you put a big smile on your face right now, you pull your shoulders back, and you tilt your head up slightly, you can feel a change in your body. You can feel a change in your energy. You can feel a change. You're actually changing your neural chemistry just by that physical choice. And you don't have to worry about how it's going to work. It just does, right? And so when you start to extend love to your mind and extend love to your body and stop attacking the party that's feeling uncomfortable, give it love, you'll transform it from one state into another. Thank you. Yes, that's correct, Ovi. That's correct. Question. Hi, Bogmilla. Oh, thank you for that donation of $13. I really appreciate that. My brother in low January passed away all of a sudden. What was the cause and if he has a message for me, well, I get two things. There was something that he should not have been doing repeatedly. There's something he was doing repeatedly. It caused his heart to be empty. That's the words I'm getting. His heart became empty, and he departed because of this. He could not live in that emptiness. Again, I don't know what that means or what that represents. Something that's just emptiness. Message for her is, are you here now? Can you connect with me? I get that sense of relief. He is relieved. He is relieved. Yes. You need to know that I am relieved. What do you mean by that? I am relieved of my suffering, and I am free now. You have a message for her specifically. Just blowing kisses at you. He's blowing a kiss at you. He's saying, I don't know why he's saying this. He's saying a kiss is worth 1,000 words. On the forehead. He's saying, it is on the forehead I kiss you. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah. Something about, he's saying, don't take some. So I don't know why he's saying that. He's saying, don't take the bus. I don't know what that means, but he's saying, don't take the bus. I don't know what that means, but that he said to give you that message as well. Don't take the bus. I don't know what that means. Hi, Robin. Thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Question: my mother is here with me. Does my father, Bob, have a message for Ernie? I'm getting an image of an arm going across a shoulder and lips coming close to an ear and saying, it's all right. It's all right. But it's not like that arm. It's like a very gentle arm on the shoulder, a hand on the other shoulder, and lips going to an ear. It's all right. And it's whispered. It's not spoken in the same tone that I'm speaking it in. I'm using this tone so that you can hear what is being said. It's all right. And it's like there's a gentleness in the words, like it's all right. It's really so gentle. It's wow. It's even gentler. There's a feeling in the tone of his voice that I've never experienced like this before. A gentleness and a love that goes into the heart. Yes, it's all right. Soon. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. Hi, Yvette. Hi, Teresa. Wow. Nicole, I was a student of, Hi, Nicole. Yeah, if you guys ever want to come sign up for our mediumship courses, which start in September 5th. They're mind-blowing courses. It'll transform your life. Like everybody has access to these different beings on different levels. We all have access to it at all points of time and space. It's just a matter of being able to adjust our perceptual mechanism, our awareness, to perceive it. We have to adjust our awareness to a level of perception that makes that which is imperceptible perceptible, right? It's like dialing a channel on a radio station. You can't hear 1050 chum if you're listening to 750. You have to change the dial, and you have to change the way you perceive information that's coming in through your senses and through your awareness, so that you can tune into different frequencies of knowledge and wisdom that are available to all of us at all times. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicole. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're down to the last week of our 103 course this week, and we're going to be busy for the next couple of months, and then we start again in September for one more set of classes. Yes. Question from Tanya. What bond do I have with my old friend Ray? I feel there is some bond, but not sure if a spiritual bond or something unfinished. By asking this question right now, my ear just rang. Um, wow. No, this is a heart. This is a connection of the heart, and it has been a connection of the heart for many lifetimes. There's a part of you that wants to restore that which was before, but that is not the time now. It is not time to restore that which was before, for it is before. Yes, but it is a connection of the heart. It is a connection of the heart, but from another lifetime. You want to really work on. Yourself. Like, you have to do this for yourself. You have to open your heart up. But it's a heartfelt connection. Cool. Hi, Kai. Courtney. Hi, Courtney. I'm glad you made it alive. Yes, it's been a lot of fun, isn't it? Remember to like this video as you're watching it. It really brings the SEO up. I'm still learning all these technical terms and stuff that are supposed to try and get this work out there. Wow. I can really feel him. Hang on. Wow. I'm getting a very, Jill, I'm getting a very young voice speaking to me, and it's speaking in the words, Mommy, I'm not sure, but it's a very young voice. To your knees, saying to your knees. He's arms around your legs, and his head is up to your pelvis area. He's just like this, holding you like this. It is love and gratitude. Love and gratitude. That I'm always close. I'm always close. And I don't know why. Again, I don't know if this is related to him or not, but I'm also getting the word or the name Devin, and I don't know what that means, but that's what's coming from him. Something about Devin. Anyway, yeah, that's beautiful. Such love, eh? And joy. When you leave your physical body, okay, there's something I learned this when I did work with people, with my guardian angels that had strokes and comas. They said people that leave their bodies in a comatose state, the soul is electrically disconnected from the body. So you cannot speak physical words to them because their body is not operating the same way. And when they're not in the body, they can't perceive through the 5 physical senses, but they can hear you telepathically. A non-physical form can perceive a non-physical thought wave. But when you're speaking a sound wave word, the physical ears, if the soul is disconnected from the body, they can't hear your words. They'll see your mouth moving, but they won't understand how it can be very difficult to read lips, right? But think your thoughts. To those that have left the form that you wish to connect to, think thought to them and be very aware, because they don't have a physical body anymore. When you leave the body, you don't have physical senses. So people aren't going to hear you speaking the same way, but they'll hear your thoughts. They always hear your thoughts. Always. Always, always, always. Wow. Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for that. Let us know if there's any relevance to the name Devin that he said. Wow. Patricia. Okay, I think we're actually done with the questions. This is amazing. That's the first time I think we've gotten through all the questions in a single less than an hour. This has been totally amazing. So I will begin the formal announcement of the Global Peace Meditation that we will be doing on the 20th of June at 2020 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in my case. The meditation itself will be about 20 minutes. It will be based on the vibrational energy of peace. And yes, we will bring you, and I'm talking, there's going to be a full complement of all the beings that are working with us in this process. Those that are physical and those who are non-physical will be present for this process of 20-minute meditation to establish and restore peace to human collective unconsciousness, right? Because most people are so stuck out in the world, they've forgotten where their home is. And literally home is where your heart is, your soul, your beingness. Wow. Patricia, wonderful. Thank you. Tina's got a question about, let's see, Tina, what message does my sister want me to hear from her? I just felt overwhelming love, I think, from her. Yes, that's a good thing. Remember, the minute you think a thought, you actually send out a vibration that gives the person, if you leave the body and you're not aware that you're not your body and mind, then you, for all intents and purposes, you will be dormant. By dormant, what do we mean? You're used to seeing the world from this perspective, and suddenly, what happens if somebody puts their hands over your eyes? You don't see. If they put their hands over your ears, you don't hear. If they put their hands over your mouth, you don't speak, right? If you are not able to see without your eyes, if you don't become the awareness that is you, the soul that is you, that is animating this body that works, learn to become the awareness that is you, so that when the form ceases to function, you won't become unconscious to your existence. And that's what is actually what purgatory is when people become unconscious of their existence and they're in this no space of unawareness. Doesn't mean they don't exist. They're just not aware that they do. They just are being, not aware of being. It's almost like being a brand new newborn baby, but there's no ability to respond to anything. So meditation is a wonderful tool for learning to awaken your awareness to the awareness that is you, that is the energy that maintains the form, that is connected to all points of time and space. Again, this is a practice that you need to learn. So when you think a thought to somebody who has left the form, they'll feel that more than they'll hear words. They won't hear words. And the minute you do, they'll feel that vibration. You'll actually trigger the energy within them that's in resonance with that question or the name or the vibration you knew them as. It's like I say the word to you, cat. Immediately I say the word cat, your brain produces an image of the cat in your mind. Some of you might have a Persian cat, some might have a Siamese cat, some might have a hairless cat, some might have a kitten, some might have a tiger. But whatever a cat is in your system will come up to consciousness. Well, when you leave the body, when someone leaves the body, there's something in the system that if you have it, that triggers a resonant vibration, reminds them of something, it'll bring their awareness back to being aware in that moment relative to that thing. I'm trying to, because I've experienced it so many times. Like when she called for her son and he came through that way, I immediately viscerally experienced that energy, and it's not a physical energy. It's you just have to you get to experience it by experiencing it. When we do, again, you learn this in the courses and classes. You gain a practical experience with being able to actually hear, and feel and see and know. Wow. Okay. What message does my sister want me to hear from her? I just felt overwhelming love, I think, from her. Yes, and you did. I'm getting an image, something about a doll, something about a little tiny doll and a tea set, and I don't know what that means. But they're fairly old. It's a fairly old doll. It's not ceramic, but it's an older doll, probably from the 50s or 60s, about having tea. That was a lot of fun. Cool. Wow. Oh, you're welcome, Jill. Yes, please do. Please do. Wonderful. Thank you, Bogdan. And again, thank you for everybody's support. If you want to support this work, please go to my Patreon page and become a Patreon supporter. For as little as $5 a month, you can get the benefits of being entered into a free draw to receive a reading with me at the end of each month. We do a draw at the beginning of each month. We do a draw to give away a free reading with me. and that's a value of 111 US dollars. As well, we do on the 7th day at 7 p.m. every month, we do a private Q&A for Patreons only. As well, you can also submit a question once a month and have your guides and angels answer that question through me, or they'll answer the question through you as well. And yeah, please, you can support this work this way. Also, when you come live on this show, you can use the super chats to support us that way as well. And I want to thank everybody for your questions today. It was very powerful, having all these different beings come through, and your loved ones. You know, when you understand that you are not separate from anything, and you become aware of that connectivity, it's just a matter of developing the skill. It's a muscle. Being a medium is something that's innate. It's a potential we all have. It has to be cultivated. It has to be developed. Being out of your body exists. They're just different senses that have to be developed consciously and deliberately. And your guides and your angels are here to help you learn how to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I want to wish you guys a wonderful, a joyful day. We're going to see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Again, much love, everybody. Bye for now, and we'll see you soon.